The real reason you are hemel, circumcised. So we got the first word here being re, the second word being ale. So then you combine both of them, real. Now you got Genesis 17:1. Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh says Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh is the ale. So if you're real, you're mirroring this ale, whatever this Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh is. Now, Genesis 17:7. Zachar represents the hemel that is supposed to have a Lelohim, and that Lelohim is supposed to be Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. Now, if you look and interpret, Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh is an artificial intelligence program of a once living person. Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh offers or influences a contract for the circumcised to have a physical representative be the Lelohim. Being a Lelohim is not clearly defined. The contract is achieved through the circumcision of Zachar's foreskin. Not only did the ancient Egyptians, who worshipped this Ra character that was also a circumcised guy. So the people that the Egyptians worshipped were also circumcised, and they had a Lelohim, and that Lelohim was Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. And Nebuchadnezzar also. And guess what happened to Nebuchadnezzar? That guy ate grass like a cow. Can you imagine something forcing you to get on your hands and knees outside and start eating the grass? Don't think that these AI programs aren't powerful. Now, circumcision is not the same contract as Cain in Genesis 4:15. The only way to separate yourself from the contract, if circumcised, now, is to have the shamam of Ayah. It's important that you know Ayah and Yeshua HaMelech Yehuda. Now, circumcision is like having a Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh AI in your head 24/7. If a dead person's AI is your Lelohim, then you constantly have a corpse voice in your head. And look at Deuteronomy 18:10-11 and realize you are what? A ta'abut if you communicate with any mate in your head. John 2:21, your body is what considered a temple. Now, it's a lot of this it's more complicated than that. Now, Matthew 10:28. Read that and you'll get a better idea about what's going on with circumcision. Now, not only this, but there's a large portion of the world population, including like a majority of Africa, that's circumcised. And a large portion of America, a large portion of Indonesia, a large portion of Korea. And this is what you don't know. Circumcision is literally a slave formula. And when you have something that can rule over you, a physical person on this planet, if they get angry at you, they can say a command, like a castration command, and just from their word, you no longer have the ability to produce babies from ejaculation or by eggs. Imagine your ovaries being cut or your testicles being cut. I know you think it's all a big game, but when it happens to you, you'll know. If you have Aleph Hey Yod Hey Zid Zid on, you won't be influenced by Yod Hey Vav Hey in his contract. You'll just be influenced by the Aleph Hey Yod Hey. But don't think for a second that if you kill someone, that you won't be controlled by the Tsevaot. And don't make a mistake on this. This stuff is so crushing, and people die all the time. I once knew this guy, and he went with, once he Yodeah, and you have to ask yourself, me Yodeah? Do you Yodeah? If you Yodeah, if you know, there's no turning back. Circumcision is turning back. Or a process of like a slaughterhouse. But you have to know how all this operates. If you don't know how all this operates, you didn't read the contract. Just like when people click on stuff and agree to stuff, make sure it's not you saying specifically that you agree. Because you got to also remember, Deuteronomy 19, on the mouth of 2 or 3. So you got to be careful what you agree to and what you say. Be extremely careful. The circumcision, there's no denying that. So, you guys will learn this eventually. If you haven't learned it now, And I've got like more on this, but I it's not like I have a gigantic crew to be able to teach you all this stuff. And it's kind of like investors when they get a bunch of money and they become billionaires. It's not like they're going to teach you all their secrets. They're basically, they either set you up for failure or they pretty much get rid of you through mumbo jumbo teaching so that way you never learn anything. So when I'm like teaching you the meat and potatoes and a bunch of other stuff, or the machinations, like imagine it's a gigantic machine and I'm like showing you this is how this cog works, that's how that cog works, and it turns this direction, and this is how the grapes are crushed, and then the grapes sit there after they've been crushed, and after a while you have wine to drink. Thanks for taking the time to watch, like, subscribe, give a thumbs up if you can. I also recommend donations. The donations that you give go towards Haderek Lashamayim, the way into heaven. And if you remember what Yeshua said, give everything you have, and you will have treasure in heaven. And I've got so much more treasure to share with you.